Hey guys, it's me, Sujoy over here. So I'm back with another video. So on this video, I'm going to be talking about how I got my business visa for Vietnam. I'm just going to be talking about my personal experience. So um, I'm not currently on a business visa, but I was on a business visa when I had gone to Hanoi to teach English with a language center. For those of you who would like to come to Vietnam with a business visa, let me break it down for those, and let me help you understand who is the business visa for, the Vietnam business visa for. So, firstly, is if you're coming for employment, okay? So, say you're an English teacher and you got a job with a school here or with the language center here in Vietnam. You can come to Vietnam with a business visa. The validity of this visa is 3 months. You also have a business visa for 1 month, but usually, if you're coming for employment, you will be coming with a 3 months, single entry, or if you want, you can come with a 3 months multiple entry business visa. Now, for the employment, it is very important that the company is registered here in Vietnam. It has to be a local company. It has to be locally registered here in Vietnam. My language center was basically having an affiliation with a local Vietnamese company, which was an LLC, and of course, so basically they bought the franchise from the language center. So it was an LLC company, and so yeah, for employment. So this is required when you're going to be working here in Vietnam for 3 months with the school, and that'll be required for your visa to be converted into a working visa, which is a work permit. So for employment. Secondly, if you are an investor, or you can come with the business visa. I don't have much of knowledge about that, but if you have a business invitation, the company can invite you to come to Vietnam with a business visa because they're locally registered over here in Vietnam, so they can provide you a business visa. So basically, the Vietnam business visa falls under the DN category. Okay, so DN category. Okay, so that is the business visa. So I'm just going to be describing my personal experience of how I got the business visa when I came to Hanoi. So having my morning coffee. So I was in Saigon and I was on a tourist visa. That was, I think I was on a 1 month tourist visa back then. And so I was applying for a couple of teaching positions, and I did an interview with a language center based in Hanoi, and everything went well, and I was selected for the job. I had an offer letter from the company. I accepted the offer, and then I was asked to provide certain documents, like my passport details, scan of my passport, first page, last page. I had to provide my scan of my degree, my teaching certificate, and some additional information which I had to include. And yeah, so then my employer told me that you will have to exit Vietnam, and and then the business visa usually takes around 7 to 10 business working days. I got my business visa in within 7 business working days. So I booked a flight. I went to Thailand. I was in Bangkok. I was there for a week. So what happened is that I got an email I think it was on a Friday. I think it was the seventh business working day. I got an email from my employer, and she gave so basically the employer will file for your business visa. Okay, you cannot go online and apply for your own business visa. The employer will do that for you. Okay, so the employer will have, because there are a lot of things involved for getting the business visa. The employer has to provide the company's registration number, license number, and all those legal documents which the employer has to provide from their end. So it took 7 business working days. I got an email from my employer. The employer gave me the invitation letter, a business visa invitation letter. It's just like the same invitation letter which you get for the e-visa when you come to visit Vietnam, like the tourist e-visa. The same format, but it's different. It's basically a business visa invitation letter valid for 3 months. The same letter format, but it's different. Okay, it's just the content is a bit different. Okay, so you get the DN category business visa. So I took my flight. I think the following day. So the date of entry is also mentioned. So I took the flight the following day, and I took a Vietjet flight from Bangkok, and I flew to Hanoi. And so what happened is that I landed in Hanoi. Uh, and of course the Hanoi airport is very big, which I personally found compared to the Saigon airport, international airport. So anyway, I landed in Hanoi, and I just walked up. So when you have a business invitation, make sure to take a printout of your business invitation letter. Okay, don't put it on your phone. You have to take 2 copies. Make sure you get the printouts. Make sure you have your passport size photographs, the dimensions, okay, and make sure you carry 25 US dollars in cash, okay, because that's a stamping fee. So that is important. So yeah, anyway, so I went over there. So what I had to do is I had to go to the office. There is an office over there. It's like a waiting room. So you go there, you hand over your document to the officer, and the officer will give you a form to fill up. Okay, so you have to give in those passport size photographs. I had to pay some $25 to the officer for the stamping fee. You don't pay money to the immigration officer who's stamping your passport. You don't need to do that. You got to pay all the financial transactions at the office over there at the Hanoi airport, which is right opposite to the immigration stamp checkpoint. So anyway, so the officer said you go fill up the form. I had to wait over there. I think it took me around 10 minutes or 10, 12 minutes. So I was filling up the form. You have to put in a lot of details. You have to also provide details about your employer. So the more information you provide in the form, it'll be better. It's not very complicated, but it's just like, the purpose of your visit, the address of your employer, where are you going to be staying in Hanoi, and contact detail of your employer. So you have to provide all that information. Fortunately, I had a Vietnam Vitel active SIM card, so I had some questions. Was calling up my employer from the airport, and it was, I think, around 7 p.m. in the evening. So my employer was very active in picking up the phone, and she was very nice to assist me to help me up. But I think there was no problem. And I honestly didn't know what was the cost associated for the business visa, because I was thinking that, okay, I just pay the stamping fee and I just but you have to pay the money. Okay, you have to pay. So I opted for the 3 month single entry visa. So what happens is that when you're waiting, there is a screen in front of the waiting room office, and there you can see your photo and your name. Okay, so it's like a waiting room. So when I saw my picture with my name, I had to approach the officer, and I had to pay some money. I believe that was 110 US dollars, but you can pay in Vietnam dong. They do have an ATM machine inside, uh, inside the airport before you check it, before you come out to the before you go to the immigration officer. So they have it when you come inside the airport. You just need to go on the left side and take a right. There's one ATM machine over there. I think that's a BIDV or something. So I took out some Vietnam dong. So there is an ATM machine, physical ATM machine there before you stamp your passport. Okay. So fortunately, I was grateful for that. I took out money in Vietnam dong, and I gave the officer the money, and I think he gave me a pink slip. Yeah, uh, along with my passport, and so I opted for the single 3 months business visa. Then I proceeded to the immigration officer who would be stamping the passports. Okay, the passport control check. Okay, so I gave my passport, the pink slip, and everything. So and yeah, I was good to go. I was cleared, and it just took around 2 minutes for the stamping and all that. So I mean less than that, but that's how I got my business visa. Okay, so right. So yeah. So this 3 month single entry business visa. Okay. Um, so yeah. There was a question that which I came across online, was that is the business visa extendable? Yes, you can extend your 3 months business entry visa. But if you're coming for employment, most likely you will just be on that 3 months business visa, and then that'll be processed into a work permit. Now, the other question would be is what happens if you get terminated from your teaching job and all that? If you're under a business visa, well, it all depends up to your employer. Usually, they will give you a 7 days grace period for you to still be in Vietnam, but you will have to exit Vietnam. I mean, so if it doesn't work out with your school, don't expect that, okay, you're still going to be living in Vietnam with the remaining business visa validity. Okay, you'll have to exit Vietnam. Okay, so they'll give you around 7 business working days, 7 days. So you got to exit Vietnam. And one more thing is that if you are, this is from my employer. Okay, if you are coming to if you're coming to Vietnam, if you're coming to Hanoi with your business visa, and if your employer is over there, you cannot exit Vietnam from Saigon. Okay, you will have to exit it from Hanoi. Okay, so yeah, so you'll have to exit from Hanoi, but it depends. It depends also on your employer. Okay, like if they say, okay, fine, you can exit, so I mean that was given to me, that information was actually given to me. So you need to exit. Okay, and then you can come back, re-enter Vietnam with 30 days or with a 90 days e-visa. Okay, so that's how it was. That was my personal experience of getting a business visa. Honestly speaking, I feel more comfortable living on my own visa. Okay, because I mean it depends from person to person, but yeah, I mean this is what you have. This is the information which I need to give you when it comes to getting a business visa over here in Vietnam. Okay, so finally, if you are traveling around in Southeast Asia and you want to start a successful online business, I'm going to keep a link down in the description below for you to get access to this exclusive webinar invite. It's free to join. So I'm going to keep a link down in the description below, and I will also try to leave some descriptions regarding the business visa, which you can look into. So I hope this information was useful. With that being said, this was me, Sue Joy. Peace out.